More and more people are now being asked to work from home rather than go to the office in efforts to stop the spread of COVID-19. What impact, if at all, would this have on our national energy grid? We speak now to energy expert from EE Business Intelligence, Chris Yelland. A very good morning to you, Chris. Are you also being forced to work from home?
I am. I'm at home at the moment. My business now operates entirely from home. And I'm lucky enough to be in a position to be able to do my work remotely from home anywhere in the world.
There are people who've resorted to the system and are complaining about electricity cutoffs.
Well, obviously, electricity is a critical enabler for all kinds of telecommunications, as well as all kinds of business activities, transactional activities. So it's really important if we are going to be working distributed all around the country from home instead of from our offices, where very often there is a diesel generator backup. It's really important that we now start looking at our own work environments in our home environment to ensure continuity of supply. And this means UPS equipment in the short term. This can back up for about half an hour usually, but also for longer term energy storage through battery storage systems, sometimes solar-powered systems for domestic and light commercial activities. So certainly I'm looking at installing a battery storage system because I cannot be without power for 4 hours. That would seriously disrupt my ability to do business from home.
Is Eskom up to the task, though? Recently, they reported that the grid was up to standard and there was no foreseeable prospect of outages. And yet last night, we saw outages coming through.
Look, there are many sources of outages. On the one hand, there are generation capacity supply constraints, and this generally results in load shedding. Eskom have made it absolutely clear that we can expect ongoing load shedding intermittently for the next 2 years and more. So I think small businesses and people who work from home really need to start looking at this thing very seriously, and it does make a lot of sense in running a business to install backup systems, whether they are battery storage or small generators, etc. It's going to become the norm. Of course, there are many other sources of electricity outages, most noticeably in the distribution network, through cable theft, cable faults and switchgear faults and all kinds of poor maintenance on the distribution network, which is not attributable to Eskom necessarily, and certainly not attributable to generation capacity shortages. But the combination of distribution problems and load shedding presents a very serious problem for business, whether it's from home or from the office.
There are obviously cost considerations for the alternatives that you suggest. Can one-man businesses afford these?
Well, of course, every business is different. In my particular case, I am now a one-man business at EE Business Intelligence, and I certainly have the need to install a backup system. And as a business, I know that expensive as it might be, it is absolutely necessary to enable me to continue my business activities, and that I will lose more by not having such a system than I will by investing in such a system.
Chris, just a combination of the coronavirus outbreak and the current energy situation in the country, do you foresee the closure of businesses around the country, especially small businesses?
Well, certainly I can say that I really believe that the impact on the general economy, at a time when the economy is very weak in any case, I think is going to be massive. We've seen already the loss of confidence in the business sector, and this is going to impact it further. We've seen a massive decline on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, which kind of gives you an indication of the sentiment out there by business. And yes, I do think that there are going to be very severe economic impacts, and this is going to affect the profitability of many businesses, and some of them are not going to survive.
Thanks for talking to us this morning, Chris.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Chris Yelland is an energy expert.